Physically, mentally, I'm gonna take it off you. You know that. You can see that in your eyes. You know that. Yes, I'm the man to end the K2 promotion. I'm physically gonna come there and take it off you. Do you know what that means?
The Klitschko brothers' boxing journey was a wild ride, from caricatures featuring their heads chopped off to serious antics akin to what Shannon Briggs used to pull off. But among these characters, one scandalously notorious boxer stood out, Dereck Chisora. He managed to get so far under their skin that Vitali Klitschko had to fight 8 rounds practically one-handed, punishing the brash Chisora and defending his family's honor. Today, we're diving into this showdown that went beyond the ring, blowing up into a full-blown scandal. So, folks, make sure to watch this video till the end, and don't forget to hit that like button. It's going to be one intense ride. It all kicked off back in 2010 when the younger of the Klitschko brothers, Vladimir, reigning as the heavyweight champion across multiple titles, was scheduled for a mandatory title defense against the already infamous boxer, Dereck Chisora. Before the fight, these fighters said a lot of crap to each other, especially the Brit. But settling the score or backing up those words with actions wasn't in the cards for the fighters. This mega showdown wasn't meant to happen. Just a couple of days before the bout, Vladimir Klitschko suffered an injury and the fight was called off. Chisora, naturally, didn't buy it and accused the younger brother of cowardice and dodging the fight. However, that wasn't the end of the clash between the Klitschko brothers and Dereck Chisora. By the end of 2011, it was revealed that the elder of the brothers, Vitali Klitschko, would face off against the English troublemaker. And that's when things really started to get interesting.
You knock me out.
No, I'm not gonna knock you out.
You want the point decision?
I'm not gonna go points, but I'm gonna physically come and take it off you. From round 1 to round 12 or whatever, but you going down on the 8th round anyway. Physically, mentally, I'm gonna take it off you. You know that. You can see that in your eyes. You know that.
All the fans were expecting Dereck to stir the pot before the fight, create some chaos. But little did they anticipate just how far this troublemaker would take it. It all began with some loud declarations.
And this is the best time for me to whoop your ass before you become the Ukraine president, because I know that's what you're trying to do right now. So I need to whoop your ass before you become the president, because when you become a president or whatever, the prime minister, whatever, before you become that, I need to whoop your ass.
And it all ended with a brazen slap that Dereck delivered to Vitali during the official weigh-in. This audacious slap robbed Vitali of his right to lose. And, of course, that added an extra layer of tension. That wasn't merely a slap, it was quite the provocative palm strike, intended not so much to cause pain as to insult or belittle Vitali. Yet, Chisora managed to blend both. If you think that was the end of the cheeky Brit's rudeness, you're deeply mistaken. Right before the fight, as the seconds ticked away before the showdown, Dereck spotted Vladimir, the younger brother, in the ring. Without hesitation, he walked up and spat right in his face. Seems like that canceled match with Chisora didn't fade from memory and harbored some deep resentment. Klitschko didn't respond to this act of disrespect, showing an incredible level of patience. Perhaps he fully relied on the idea that the older brother would take charge of dealing with the punishment for the insult. And there they stood, facing each other. The tension in their gaze was so palpable, it felt like a real spark could ignite at any moment.
WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World is underway.
Vitali Klitschko was immediately put on the bicycle in the first 3 rounds due to the Joe Frazier-like style of great head movement while bouncing and ducking coming forward.
Chisora missed with them after doing what he was doing yesterday in the WBC.
Throwing one big punch at a time, though, proved to be his downfall early on the scorecards, as Klitschko pounded away with mostly his right hand, which was a surprise considering his left jab is his usual weapon of choice.
Long and constant from dating back from his time with the Universal stage. Here in the background, that of Prince Sudanek, who's been with such long levers, such a huge reach.
The third round went in favor of the champion.
We already know it's mindful, not hurtful, the truth from Chisora at the moment. He's just a bit too static.
Chisora tries to close the distance and land a signature right-hand punch.
Background, the voice of Dean Powell in that corner for Chisora saying, come on. Try to really tee off with that.
Dereck Chisora begins to dig more into Klitschko's body.
Ricky Hatton and Costa Zoo.
To move and then he goes on the offense. Dereck could have a little bit more success.
Klitschko continues to compile evidence of Chisora's iron chin through punches that land like atom bombs, yet don't so much as wobble Chisora.
Shots that landed. Chisora was better on his jab.
In the fifth round, Klitschko continued to defend confidently, evading the British boxer's attacks.
You go to yourself what they're saying.
With his hands tight.
Chisora began to take initiative. He held his ground in the center of the ring, while Klitschko circled around him.
Needs a couple of things. Klitschko trying to show they far.
Despite the height difference, 13 centimeters, Chisora managed to reach Klitschko, especially on counterattacks.
Pretty stern, are you listening to me?
Yeah. It is going to help him.
It was evident that the Ukrainian was trailing behind the Brit in terms of speed.
Chance for Chisora. Is there just enough ring craft?
Not really, no.
However, in the sixth round, Vitali restored the correct course of events. Mostly due to right crosses, which he caught Chisora on counterattacks several times.
Points where Chisora suffered at the hands of Lennox. Getting in front and landing shot. That's the challenger. Maybe his best punch of the fight.
And then it was time for the seventh, perhaps the brightest round in this fight.
This is the best round.
At the very beginning, Chisora hits with a right hook, and then a few more times with both hands. Everyone around tensed up.
About the 2 minute stage, and then Klitschko took over for the last minute. Yeah, looking at him in the corner.
Again.
But here Vitali hits the right 4 times in a row, winning back everything with a vengeance.
There's not much in him at all. When he's coming forward,
Look as though there's any. When he's forced to give ground, own agenda. Takes it well and keeps coming.
as I say, when he gets his weight in him, he's okay. We were saying before the fight.
In the 8th round, Vitali Klitschko began to show signs of fatigue. It was evident he was starting to tire, while Chisora was actively pressing forward, at times quite dangerously.
That's how they win the fight. That's how they won it. They literally just keep Klitschko.
If Dereck Chisora can get there with naysayers, Dereck Chisora, who said that he was going to be utterly outclassed against this fella as well.
This is good, mate. Good body shot.
He'll have already crowd a bit muted from the challenge. Now the chance got. That's a good right hand.
But by the 9th round, Chisora seemed to lose steam.
Klitschko's crisp dollar bills was in Washington, D.C.
Klitschko
Being the sort of dominant of authority. Goodness knows what's going on.
Towards the end of the 9th round, the Ukrainian landed a straight punch to the head. The contender weathered the blow.
Chisora starting to just bleed a little now. 79-73.
The final rounds were clearly dominated by Vitali Klitschko. In the 10th and 11th rounds, it was clear that both boxers were very tired, but Klitschko generally was winning the fight, and once or twice he even managed to shock Chisora.
And there doesn't seem to be no more sting.
And also, going to be interesting to see what the reaction of the two men. Told that Tim Witherspoon against Tony Tubb led a ball.
No, he's not.
That's a good.
The last round was the most spectacular. Both fighters had enough energy to showcase their full skill set, although there were some clinches. Towards the end, it seemed like boxing might turn into a brawl.
Shots followed by the switch to the head, all more than a minute now in which to...
The Briton desperately rushed to the attack, but nothing came of it.
There's the big Chisora. Carrying the fight to the champion right to the...
Vitali was still a little more accurate in the final round.
The
Even after the duel came to its logical conclusion, Chisora did not calm down and shouted something at the brothers, but it was no longer important. The judges awarded the victory to Vitali Klitschko by decision. Following the announcement of the fight's result between Chisora and Klitschko, there was an exchange of words, prompting Vladimir to step in between them. After the fight, Klitschko expressed their lack of respect for Chisora's behavior, while Chisora's promoter demanded a rematch. After that intense battle involving the Ukrainian fighter, a whole bunch of questions started swirling around. The victory was incredible, but everyone expected a spectacular knockout that had been promised. Later, it turned out that the reason our hero couldn't knock out the Brit was a shoulder injury he sustained shortly before the fight, which he kept quiet about. At the press conference, Vitali expressed his disappointment in himself in 3 languages. He aimed to finish the fight with a punch that would have rocked the audience, but alas, it didn't happen. The victory hardly brought him any joy. Acknowledging that he wasn't seeking excuses, he noted that he boxed with only his right hand for the last 8 rounds. However, the press conference show wasn't just about his performance. He, so to speak, merely added a bit of spice. Chisora initially behaved rather calmly. He didn't dispute the fact of his defeat. But the post-fight press conference didn't go smoothly, as always ending in another scandal that turned into a brawl. However, the Klitschko brothers were not involved this time. David Haye engaged Dereck Chisora in a war of words during the post-fight press conference that resulted in one of the ugliest shows in recent boxing history. During Dereck's response to his fiasco, out of nowhere appeared David Haye, yelling at his fellow countrymen, calling him a failure.
Vitali said you can knock me out. You think you can knock me out?
Be quiet, you're a salesman. Get out of here.
Vitali said to the people of Ukraine, people of Germany,
The guy's a con man. Remove him from the
now Bergman is pitching out. Vitali's about what's Vitali? Where's Vitali? He said, quiet, I want to fight next time. Where is he now? Where is he now? He said you want to fight me. I agreed the money.
Take him away, I said.
I agreed with everything. Why are you not fighting me now?
Excuse me.
Chisora, feeling offended, shouted back at Haye, "Say it to my face."
David, you want to tell me that in my face? You want to tell me my face? You want to tell me my face? Alright, tell me my face then.
He then lunged across the entire hall, and what happened next, well, you'll have to see for yourself.
You want to fight me?
Haye traded blows with Chisora and Chisora's trainer. At one point, Haye threw a tripod. Bottles were thrown. Haye exited. Chisora threatened to shoot him. Wow, what a way to hype up a potential fight. Guys, Vitali said to his team, looking at all the chaos, this isn't our show. Let's get out of here. This celebration isn't for us. However, as the frenzy settled a bit, Vitali came to terms with the fact that while the celebration after the victory had been snatched away, the victory itself hadn't been stolen. Well, you know, he remarked, beating a guy like that, even with one hand, was worth it.